Hi, everybody. Happy Wednesday. I hope you guys are having a great day. I wanted to come on here because on my live stream this morning, we had some really great conversations, and there were a few points that really stuck with me. And because of that, I wanted to come on here and touch on some of these things in a video to share with everybody. Side note, before we dive in full force, not everybody is going to agree with everything that I'm about to say, and that's okay. But if you disagree, be respectful and keep it cute in the comments, okay? Okay. I want to talk about Lisa. Yes, she who shall not be spoken about majority of the time. We've all been seeing what's been going on with her the last few weeks. And while it sucks, it's not surprising. It was pretty much expected. She's spiraling. She no longer has the safety net of her parents' home. And now she's out there in an abandoned house, unsure of when and where her next meal is going to come from. And also, she is constantly on edge about who she may or may not run into. That's a scary place to be. But it's a place that she has found herself in at nobody's fault but her own in her active addiction. But here's something that I really want everyone to think about. When you see someone like Lisa or anyone in active addiction, do you ever stop and ask yourself what led them there? Yes, they made the choice to pick up their DLC and use it, but there's usually something that comes before that choice. Sometimes it's as simple as a prescription from the doctor and they become dependent on it. They like the way it makes them feel. Other times it's trauma. They use their DLC to numb out the pain, and that pain just builds and builds and builds over time, like a ticking time bomb. Then when they finally decide to get clean, all those feelings come rushing back during detox. It's overwhelming. It's scary. It's dangerous. Most of you know, I've seen that firsthand. When my daddy was forced to detox in jail, he didn't have the mental support that he needed. And when those emotions came flooding in, he couldn't cope. I don't want to see anyone else going through that. And I also don't want families blaming themselves when they lose someone to this awful disease. Don't get me wrong. Addiction absolutely does not excuse a person's actions. But expecting real accountability from somebody that is so deep into their active addiction, that's just not realistic. True accountability comes with recovery. And even then, it comes in baby steps. If someone like Lisa, again, for example, were to quote unquote take accountability right now, it wouldn't be genuine. It wouldn't be transparent. It wouldn't be true accountability. And one last thing I want to touch on. Someone in my live today brought up something that really hit hard for me. Yes, Lisa's parents may have enabled her in the past. But if you haven't noticed, they do appear to be trying a different route now. I feel like they were put in a very conflicting situation of, do I leave my daughter out on the streets and never know where she is, if she's okay, what's going on, or do I give her a roof over our head and at least I can check in on her every day. At least I can know somewhat of what's going on. At least I know that she's okay, she's alive, well, and breathing. Neither one of those options is easy for someone that loves an addict. But again, it does seem like they're going a different route now. And we can't blame them for choosing the pain of letting her go over the pain of keeping her close and watching her spiral. At the end of the day, Lisa is responsible for Lisa. And families can only do so much. And when people online start blaming the family, just remember, some of us have lost loved ones to addiction. And hearing the blame game in that way being played can reopen wounds that never fully healed. When you go around telling people like Lisa's sisters, for example, that they're not doing enough, or this is their fault, or that's their fault, it makes people like us that have lost a loved one to addiction question, did we do enough? Should we have done more? Is this our fault? Think about your words before you say them, and think about how they can directly impact other people outside of just the people that you're directing them towards. Just some food for thought. I hope that you guys have a great Wednesday. Be kind. Make somebody smile today, and it costs nothing. And again, you don't have to agree with my thoughts and opinions in this video. I don't mind having conversations about differences in opinion, but be respectful and keep it cute. Thank you guys. Bye.